Same concept is here if you want to display interactive ALV now. So interactive oops ALV. Interactive oops ALV. Oops ALV. Interactive oops ALV. For that again I will take some requirement. I will go for now Mara table. Mara table. Let's see what kind of data it has. And go for MAKT table. MAKT table. FG126 up to FG233. Okay, FG126. So let's see that field. FG126 up to FG233. G233. Activate it out. Yeah, we have lots of data which we can use here. All right, that's good. So now I will take a requirement. Interactive oops ALV. Very, very important. So let's say I want to display Mara data, which is material master header. So I want to display Mara data on one ALV, and when I am double clicking on the ALV output, double clicking on the ALV output, it should display me another ALV from MAKT, material description table. Okay, now this is a different kind of requirement. So we will have two ALV now, two screens we will need, right? This is known as interactive ALV. We can interact. So on one ALV, or you can call it a basic list. Another ALV, you can call it, let's say, secondary list. Okay, basic list and secondary list. It should display me another ALV, which will be my secondary list, right? It will display me another ALV, which will be my secondary list. So if you want to interact it in our ALV grid class, so solution for it, we have a double click event in our CLGUI ALV grid class, which we can use for this kind of requirement. If you are getting this kind of requirement, you can use this double click event for this kind of requirement. If you want, you can go and check. So let's go to SE24 CLGUI ALV grid class. I will open it. I will go to the event section, and in the event section I will check the double click event. Yeah, see, there is a double click event. So this event, we can use it for double clicking, and we can write the logic. And if you remember, what is the concept of event that we have seen in the previous session? In object-oriented programming, using event, method of one class can call the method of another class. So we will have a triggering method. So using double click, when I will double click on the first ALV, a event will be raised. So we will have to define a event handler method also. There we will display the second ALV. So this is the concept which I am going to use to display the Mara and MAKT details. Okay. So I will go and create a class. Sorry, I will go and create a program. Interactive ALV. Interactive ALV. Okay, it is already there. Let's create something else. Interactive ALV. Right. For type executable program, package and transport request. So here we have to display two ALV. So I will need two structures also. So start with Mara, begin of ty Mara, and I will give the name of the fields. This is my Mara table. Let's see some fields here. Matner, type its data element, Matner, then ERSDA, type ERSDA. Then we have time also. I don't know, no need time. I will use another field. Let's say MTART, material type. It's data element, material type. I will use MBRSH also. So MBRSH type, its data element. Then I will take material medical also. So medical type, its data element, medical. So 5 fields I am selecting from my Mara table. Okay. Then I will have a MAKT data. So types begin of ty underscore MAKT, and I will create the fields for it. So MAKT table, material description table, and I will take the fields from here. Matner, type Matner, another field Spras, type SPRS, then material description MAKTX, type MAKTX material description. Okay. Let's use this field also, MAKTG, type MAKTG. Our structure declaration, it is done. I will end this structure TYMAKT. Normal thing, declaration of structure. Pretty printer and activate it. Then I will declare the internal table for both of them. So data LT Mara, type table of TY Mara, then LS Mara, type TY Mara. Then for MAKT also, so LT MAKT, type table of TY MAKT, and then we'll have the work area, so LS MAKT, type TY underscore MAKT. Very simple. Activate it out. Then what we will do, we will create the field catalog. So create the two field catalog for two ALV. So LT field cat1, type table of my LVCS fcat, then LS field cat1, type my LVCS fcat, then LT field cat2, type table of LVCS fcat, which is my structure for my field catalog. So LV field cat2. So then we will have the work area also, ls field cat2, type my LVCS fcat, right? Normal thing, we have declared the internal table and work area for both the field catalogs. Then we will need container and grid class. So this container and grid class, we are going to simply declare in the declaration part. I will create both of them directly here. Hello container1 is equal to new CL GUI custom container, and I will pass the name of container name here is equal to, let's say, container1. First container for first ALV, I will create it at last. Then we need the grid object, so hello grid1 is equal to new CL GUI ALV grid. Okay, and I will pass here the parent. Parent is equal to my hello container 1. So this is for container 1. We will need another one for the second ALV where we will display the MAKT also. So container 2 is equal to new CL GUI custom container custom container. Here we will pass the container name is equal to container 2 and then we will have the grid 2 object. So data LO grid 2 is equal to new CL GUI ALV grid. Okay, I will pass the parent parameter is equal to hello container 2. Very simple. We have created our grid 1 and then we have created our grid 2 object, right? Let's activate it out. Field catalog is done. Then we will create the select option. So data LV Matner this time. Type, what is the data element? Matner itself. So Matner. And then we will create a select option for it. So select options. It will be S Matner for my LV Matner. Right? Select option creation. This is the normal thing. So my first ALV is going to raise a event. My first ALV is going to raise a event, and to handle it, we will create a event handling class. We will have a event handler method also. So I will declare one class here. Class. I will name it event handler again. Definition and class. We will declare the public section here. Public section. In it, we will declare our event handler method. So I will name it display MAKT. For event, double click of class name CL GUI ALV grid. Declaration, double click event for our class name. Okay, then we will have the implementation. So class event handler implementation and class, and we will have our method logic here. So method display MAKT, right? Display MAKT, and in it we will write the logic for our second ALB. This will be raised. We will check it out. So this is definition. Then we will go to start of selection and we will display our first ALV. So start of selection and we will display our first ALV. So select what are the fields that we have selected. Let's go to Mara table and check it out. Mara table. Fields is Matner, so Matner, then ERSDA, ERSDA, then another field is MTART, MTART, then we have MBRSH and MATKL, medical. Okay, that's fine. From my Mara table into LT Mara, where Matner in S Matner, Matner in S Matner. Okay, so activate it. There is some issue. Into table, into table. So this is my select query. Then I will create the field catalog. So first field catalog creation, ls field cat1, field name Matner, Matner, then ls field cat scr textl column heading, which will be material number, right? Then we will append it. So append this field cat 1 to lt field cat1, and we will simply clear the work area. So clear the work area. This is my first column. I will create multiple columns similarly for all of them. What is the second field? Second field is ERSDA. What is this ERSDA? Created on. So ERSDA, ERSDA. We will give the column heading as created on, created on. Then we will have another column, third, which is MTART, material type. So MTART, material type. We'll have another column after material type. What is the name of the column? MBRSH industry sector. So MBRSH, MBRSH, which is my industry sector. Industry sector, right? Sector. Then we will have another column, Matcal. So Matcal. And what is its name? Matcal is material group. So material group. Okay, this is the creation of our field catalog. And then we will simply create one screen. So call screen 100, same thing that we have just seen 10 minutes ago. We will create our container 1 here. So Mara display, go for layout and create the container on it. Custom control, display it, container 1. Container 1, save it, go back and activate it. This is our first ALV. Now on this container 1, if you remember, we have already created our object for both container and grid class for container 1. So I will simply call my set table for first display. So pattern, ABAP object pattern, allo grid 1, CL GUI ALV grid, right? And we will call the method set table for first display, for first display. Okay, we will pass our field catalog here and internal table, LT Mara and LT field cat 1. Uncomment the exceptions and check. So this is our first ALV, right? When I am going to double click on the output of this ALV, what you are going to see here, this event handling should be triggered. So I'll put a breakpoint here to check whether it is calling or not, and I will activate it. Okay, so breakpoint here. I'm going for execute button. I will pass some value in maintainer. Okay, so what was the output? FG126 to FG233. FG126 to FG233. Okay, I will execute it. Yes, we are getting our first display. First output is getting displayed. Now I will double click on the first row. This is not calling, right? Our breakpoint is not hitting. So there is some problem. We have defined our event handler method. What is the problem? Let's check it out. SC38. I will go and check the program again. So here I have declared this event handler class. In it I have declared an event handler method. I am raising the event from my first ALV, but I have missed one step. Register the event handler method. For any event, we must register it using the set handler. So I just need to register it. I will simply do the registration part. I will create the object of my event handler class. So LOBJ is equal to new event handler class. What is the name of our class? Event handler. Okay, event handler, and we will do the registration. So set handler our display MAKT method. So display MAKT for this grid 1. So when I will double click, this registration will be done and this breakpoint will be hit. That breakpoint that we have kept here, it will be hit here now. So let's check it again. I will execute, pass the value again, F6126, F6223, execute it, double click. Yes, breakpoint is hitting. So this breakpoint is hitting. Now in this method, I can simply write the logic for my second ALV. We can simply write the logic for our second ALV part. So I'll go back to my program and I will check it. This is my event handler. Here we will write the logic for our secondary list. So where is my notion? Yeah. Here another step. Whenever we will double click on any row of the basic list we will get the selected list, get the index of the selected list of the selected row from get selected rows method, get selected rows method of CL GUI ALV grid class. We have a class, the same class CL GUI ALV grid. It has a method get selected rows. It will return you the selected row number that you have selected. So I will simply call it inside this method. Let's call it pattern, ABAP object pattern, grid 1. Class name is CL GUI ALV grid. And we have a method here, get selected rows. So get selected rows. We will call this method get selected rows. It will return us the index that we have selected. So LT rows. I will go inside it and I will find the data type for this selected row. Yes. LVCT row. I will bring the structure. In this structure, if you go and check, we have here index. This index will return you the index that you have selected. The index that you have selected from there, you will receive here. So declare it. Data LT rows type table of the structure that we have taken, LVCS row. ls rows, type lvcs row. Okay, simple declaration of this internal table and work area. Then I will read this, the row that I have selected from there, I will read it. So read table lt rows from my work area name, right? I'm going to simply read it, ls rows index 1, not from, it will be into index 1. I will do the size sub rc check, size sub rc equals to 0. If we have selected any data, then I will read my Mara table. So read table, I will get the primary key from my internal Mara table, this LT Mara, and based on that I will write the logic for my MAKT, and then I will display the ALV part. Okay, so I will read my Mara table on which row that I have selected there. So into ls Mara index ls rows index. Based on the index I will read it. If it is returning me any data, so if size sub rc is equal to 0, if it is returning me any data, then what I will do, I will simply write one select query on my MAKT table. So select, what are the columns of our MAKT? Matner SPRAS. So select Matner SPRAS. Another field is MAKTX and MAKTG. So MAKTX and MAKTG from your MAKT table into internal table, so into table LTMAKT, where your matner is equal to ls Mara hyphen matner. Whatever matner you have selected, based on that same, we will fetch the data and we will simply do the display part, right? So we are getting our data now. And when we are getting data, we can create the second field catalog and we can display the second ALV. So let's create it. First, I will clear the field cat2 and I will create it here. Field cat2, field name, Matner, then column heading, so SCR text L is equal to material number, then append it. So append my field cat2 to LT field cat2 and clear the work area. So clear ls field cat2. This is our first column. Then I will go for the second one also. So after material number, we have another one, SPRAS. This is language, right? Let me check it again. MAKT. What is its column heading? Language key. So SPRAS, language key. Its column heading, language key. Then third column, not this thing. Material description. So MAKTX, material description, right? Then we will have another field here. So fourth column, MAKTG. So what is the name of it? Material description for uppercase. So I will just name it material. That's a description, DS. Simple. Four, we have created our field catalog for our MAKT table, and then we will simply call it our set table for first display. So pattern, ABAP object pattern, this time grid 2, and we will call our set table for first display. So set table for first display method. Okay, we will call here and we will pass our LT MAKT table. Then we will pass our field catalog here, LT field cat 2. We will uncomment the exceptions. Okay, very simple. And we will create our container where we want to display our second ELV. So 200, double click. It should be 4 characters, so 0, 200. Yeah, double click. I will name it MAKT display and I will create a container here also. So layout, custom container, I will name it container 2. Okay, save, back and activate it. Come back and activate it. Now please understand this program. This is your ALV, interactive OOPS ALV. We have created structure 1 for first display, second structure for the second list, which is secondary list, created the internal table and work area, created the field catalog for both the ALV, 2 field catalog. Then we created the container and grid objects, right? So when I am double clicking on it, a event will be raised. So I am clicking, I have created a event handling class for this double click event of the grid class. Then in it, I have written the logic. I will get the selected rows. I will read it. And based on it, I am going to write the logic. I will create the field catalog and I am displaying it. But before that, we have the basic list. So for the basic list, we have written our logic. We have created the field catalog and then we are simply displaying it. So for the event handler class, we have registered the event handler using the set handler, right? This is the approach. Now I'm going to check. So activate it, execute it, and I will pass the input. I will get my basic list. This is my 100 screen. I can go and check system status. Yeah, screen number 100 where my basic list is displayed, and I will do the double click. This is my secondary list. System status 200 screen. So here I am displaying the MAKT display, material number, language key, material description, and this is in uppercase or lowercase, right? So we have created this OOPS interactive ALV.